Welcome back to my channel. It's me from the School of Life. In today's video, we are going to look at 6 quotes by a motivational speaker who passed away recently at the age of 87. He was born in the year 1932, and during his lifetime, he was very successful as an insurance salesman, which probably explains why he always used to say, "If you can dream it, you can achieve it." Here are 6 powerful quotes by that legendary salesman. Number 1, people don't buy things they need. People buy things they want, and they buy them for reasons that excite them. The most interesting thing about this quote is that it seems pretty obvious when you think about it, but most people tend to get it wrong. Most people make the mistake of focusing on what their product or service is rather than why somebody should care about it. For example, let's say you sell t-shirts. You might say, "Wow, our t-shirt material is so soft." But why should somebody care about that? And why does it really matter to them? A more compelling approach would be to focus on the feeling of wearing that t-shirt. So instead of saying, "Wow, our t-shirt material is so soft," try something like, "Put on one of our t-shirts and feel like you're being hugged all day long." This is what the legendary salesman meant when he said, "People don't buy things they need. People buy things they want, and they buy them for reasons that excite them." Instead of focusing on the product or the service itself, try to focus on the feeling that it evokes. Try to connect with your potential customers on an emotional level. After all, our decisions are often driven by emotions rather than logic. We don't often stop and rationally think through the pros and cons of buying a new pair of shoes or a new shirt or whatever else we're purchasing. Rather, if we see a nice pair of shoes or a nice shirt, we immediately experience an emotion, maybe excitement or joy or whatever the case may be. And if the seller is able to tap into that emotion, then chances are high that the customer will feel compelled to buy the product or the service. Number 2, every human being has 3: the person they are, the person they want to be, and the person they are afraid of being. Now, this quote is kind of a mind-blowing one because it's so incredibly true. When you really think about it, most of us have experienced these 3 types of people within ourselves. There's the person we currently are, which is based on our current habits, beliefs, and behavior patterns. Then there's the person we want to be, which is based on our goals and aspirations. And finally, there's the person we're afraid of being, which is often the one we could become if we stopped running away from our problems or if we became willing to face our fears head-on. For example, let's say that you're currently overweight and you want to lose some weight. Well, this means that the person you want to be is fit and healthy. On the other hand, the person you're afraid of being is the unhealthy and unfit version of yourself, the one that will remain if you continue making the same choices over and over again. So what do you do in a situation like this? Well, according to the legendary salesman, the answer is simple. You need to start doing the things that the person you want to be does, even if you don't feel like it, even if you don't want to, even if you're scared of becoming that person, you must do it anyway. This is the only way to bridge the gap between the person you are and the person you want to be. It's also the only way to overcome your fears and become the person you're afraid of being. Number 3. You don't have to be smarter to do what you do better. Now, this quote is absolutely brilliant. Why? Because it highlights one of the biggest mistakes that most people make. Most people think that in order to become successful, they need to be smarter. They think that they need to be super intelligent or gifted or talented or whatever else. But in reality, none of those things matter as much as your ability to do the things that you're already doing better. Your ability to do the things that you're already doing better. For example, let's say that right now you're listening to this video. If you wanted to listen to this video better, would you be better off if you were smarter or if you simply paid closer attention? The answer is obvious. You would be better off if you simply paid closer attention. The same holds true for almost everything else in life. If you want to be a better parent, you don't need to be smarter. You just need to do the things you're already doing better. If you want to be a better friend, you don't need to be smarter. You just need to do the things you're already doing better. And if you want to be a better salesperson, you don't need to be smarter. You just need to do the things you're already doing better, and this applies to virtually every aspect of life. Number 4. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This is probably one of the most well-known quotes by the legendary salesman, and it's also one of the most misunderstood ones. Most people think that this quote means that anything is possible, that we can achieve anything we set our minds to. And while that's mostly true, there's an important caveat that most people tend to overlook. According to the legendary salesman, we can only achieve something if we believe it's possible. But believing something is possible isn't enough either. We also need to take action towards that thing. We need to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how much we want to achieve something. If we don't believe it's possible, we will never achieve it. We will never even come close to achieving it. So yes, anything is possible, but not everything is probable. Not everything is likely to happen. And we need to be realistic about our expectations. Just because we believe something is possible doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. We also need to take action towards that thing. We need to put in the work and effort required to make it happen. Number 5. Everything leaves a residue. Everything you do leaves a residue that will either build up or tear down your reputation. Whatever you do it well. Now, this quote is extremely important for 2 reasons. Firstly, it reminds us that our actions have consequences. They affect not only ourselves, but also those around us. And secondly, it reminds us that we need to do our best in whatever we do, whether it's a big task or a small one, whether it's something we enjoy doing or something we don't enjoy doing. We need to take pride in our work and do it well, because as the legendary salesman said, everything leaves a residue that will either build up or tear down your reputation. And we want our reputation to be built up, not torn down. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I know if I'm doing a good job or not? How do I know if I'm building up my reputation or tearing it down? Well, the answer is simple. Just ask yourself this question: would I hire myself? If the answer is no, then you need to do better. If you wouldn't hire yourself, then you're not doing a good enough job. And this applies to virtually everything we do in life. Whether it's our personal lives or our professional ones, we need to ask ourselves this question regularly. Would I hire myself? If the answer is no, then we need to improve. We need to do better. Number 6. Your income is determined by the number of people you serve. This is another great quote by the legendary salesman, and it highlights one of the biggest misconceptions that most people have about money. Most people think that money is scarce. They think that there's a limited amount of money out there, and that if we want to make more money, we need to take it away from someone else. But in reality, this couldn't be further from the truth. There's more than enough money out there for everyone, and we can actually make more money by helping others make more money. And this is exactly what the legendary salesman meant when he said, "Your income is determined by the number of people you serve." The more people we help, the more money we will make. This is the fundamental principle behind all successful businesses, and it's also the key to financial freedom. These were 6 amazing quotes by a legendary salesman. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you found it useful and inspiring. If you did, please give us a thumbs up as it really helps us grow. Also, please share this video with your friends and family. It's a wonderful way to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I wish you all the best.